And we're back for episode 2 of season 2 for The Joker. I don't know how to say the rest of the title.
Joker, baby.
Do you know how to say the rest of the
Folie do. Joker. Joker 2. Joker face.
Joker face? That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to say something and then have somebody go off on me because I pronounced it wrong. So,
Mm.
um, but yeah, we saw Joker yesterday, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But what else have we been watching recently?
What have we been watching? Well, speaking of the DC universe, speaking of the Batman universe, we've got the Penguin coming out weekly, and we are 2 episodes in so far. And
Oh, it
it
comes out
is,
tonight.
yeah, another
Oh.
episode, 2 hours. It is really good so far.
Hmm.
I'm loving it. Say,
Yeah.
yeah, love it. It's like there's a point in it where it's like, oh yeah, this is in the Batman universe. Like this is a comic book. This is a Batman story. And it's like it just feels like it's just like so real, so grounded, which is what I love about the Matt Reeves Batman movie. Um, but yeah, so far so good.
Mhm.
Acting is incredible. Got diving into the crime world of Gotham. It's fun to see. Fun to see where it plays out, and we'll be excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to hear more about after what we've learned in this last episode about what's her name, Sophia.
Hmm.
I'm intrigued to learn more about her backstory if we're going to get some of that, or if it's in
Well,
the comics, because I haven't read too many Batman comics, but I do want to read more because I've gotten more invested recently.
they reference something from which is a big storyline from Dark Victory, which is kind of the follow-up comic to The Long Halloween, which is kind of the comic that pretty much every Batman movie ever made takes from. And Sophia is a big part in Dark Victory. And
Okay.
they're not going to go down that road because they kind of like already said something what happened in the past, but her whole experience in Arkham and everything is kind of eh, based on what happened in that book. But yeah, I don't know where the story will go from here. It'll be really interesting. We got Oz Cobb, as he likes to call himself, because I guess
Awesome.
Oswald Cobblepot's too weird for Matt Reeves. I don't know. Or maybe he's just embarrassed about his name, so he calls himself Oz Cobb. Maybe it's a character decision. I don't know.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
we
Yeah,
got the Penguin. Weekly releases on Max.
I'm excited for
HBO
it.
Sundays are back.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it so far, though. Looking forward to how many episodes do we have left? Like
I
eight?
have no idea.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Probably. I feel like it's probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
What else
along
have
for the
we
ride.
we've been watching Agatha all along? That's
Yeah,
been okay. The last episode was a little meh,
it's
but
it exists. It's another MCU TV show, which
mm,
everyone knows has been hit
rough.
or miss, kind of mostly miss. This one is probably another miss, but it's not that bad, I guess.
Yeah. I'm still enjoying it. I enjoy like all the witchy stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
cool vibes.
but and I love Catherine Hahn and Aubrey Plaza too, so that's obviously great.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but this last episode was just kind of a bit of a snoozer. So
yeah.
hopefully this week's will be better. But I'm not hedging my bets on it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's spooky vibes.
Yeah,
All
good for
right.
the main season.
I'm enjoying it, I think, so far, but I'm hoping it takes off a little more.
Yeah.
Still feels unnecessary, and I wanted them to make us feel like we need the story, because why are we just making a show based off of a song that was popular in an episode of TV? I
Hmm.
don't know. I was hoping they could have proved us wrong on that, but we still got time.
Yeah, we're
I'm hopeful.
like what, halfway through,
Yeah.
if that.
At least
So,
I'm not bored out of my mind. I'll say that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of what's releasing right now. Got Survivor Wednesdays are back. Love
Whoop,
me some
whoop.
Survivor. Love me some Jeff Probst.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Gotta go crack open a coconut and cheer about it.
Yeah. You don't know what that means? Watch Survivor 47. It's worth it. We're having a good season so far. I got some
Yeah,
crazy characters, some unhinged characters.
that's for sure.
Will always be a fan of really bad gameplay that is
Hmm.
entertaining and unhinged people. That's what we love to see. It's how you do it on Survivor.
Yeah. I'm excited for the upcoming episodes from what we saw in the last promo.
Oh yeah,
I
what in
kind
the
of know what's
world
gonna
is with that?
happen.
Yeah, so for all you Survivor watchers, next episode is bloody. It's a bloodbath out there. Sue, what
I remember.
happened to Sue?
I don't know, with the what was that one season like Blood versus Water or something? It was
Yeah,
just blood.
this is Survivor Blood. Go back to the
Yeah.
themed seasons. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna
Uh,
miss Survivor Wednesday for the next 2 weeks.
dang.
So I'm gonna have to be avoidant of Twitter, especially
Mhm.
since we're on the West Coast now and it airs 3 hours earlier.
Yep, that's rough.
Gotta gotta be extra careful.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's kind of all that's happened in the world of TV watching, I think. Movies, some movies coming out, but I don't know. It's kind of been a slow year so far. Kind of picked up a little the last few weeks. Gone to the movies theaters a lot, but
Hmm.
slowing down a bit again till award season comes up the next couple months.
Yeah. A lot of
Should
award contenders are coming out in these next few weeks, it seems
yeah,
like.
should be an
Um,
interesting rest of the year. Hopefully we get some good ones in there because honestly, this year's kind of been a letdown
mhm.
because of how spoiled we've been like the past 2 or 3 years. Like we've had some really good years of movies recently, and
Yeah.
I think this year we're just like back to normal, which feels like it's a bad year, but it's just kind of like every year's not gonna banger after banger like we've kind of been having lately.
We've got a lot of big ones coming out the rest of the year, though. We've got Gladiator, Wicked, Nosferatu, um, blanked on everything else. A
Yeah, I don't
lot of
know.
smaller ones like coming out too, I guess. But
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
excited to get into award season because that is my favorite time of the year.
yeah.
Yep, Oscars coming up in like what 6 months? Are they still in April at this point? I don't know. I don't know if they ever switched the
March,
schedule around
April.
March,
I
April,
thought they were in
whatever.
March this year. I could be wrong,
Probably,
but
probably March. Yeah,
it'll be
but
here before we know it.
yeah, it will.
Um,
Finally cover the Oscars on this podcast.
the
We
T-Small Oscars.
kind of went MIA last year before the Oscars happened, or 2 years ago before the Oscars happened.
Mm-hmm.
We missed two Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We missed the year that Everything Everywhere swept,
Oh yeah, you're
and
right.
then when Oppenheimer got a bunch too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
shall we
all right.
get
Is it time
I think
to
so.
talk about the Joker? Joker 2, Joker, Folie do, Joker 2, Joker face, whatever you want to call it. We got a movie and we have got a
Hot take.
reaction from the internet
Yeah.
about this movie.
It's been a strong reaction.
Yeah, a lot of negativity, pretty bad Rotten Tomatoes scores, which I never care about, especially a movie like this. Um, we knew it was going to be controversial. I mean, they made Joker into a musical.
Yeah.
It's gonna get some backlash. It's gonna get some praise. The internet has seemed to be mostly negativity,
Mm,
but that's typically how the internet works, where you're gonna see more negative things than positive things.
yeah.
But what we got about 38% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think it went
We've got
down.
probably at this point. We've got a D on Cinema Score, which is the lowest rated cinema score for a comic book movie ever. Madam Web, for reference, was a C plus.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Um,
That's crazy.
Cinema Score is my least favorite measure of anything. It does not matter at all because it's basically just like where your expectations met, and like it's
Ah,
not. So
so it's more
it's
subjective than it is
I
like
don't like it at all. I think it's the worst
eh.
thing and it shouldn't even exist. I think rating systems should be the average review, like IMDb, and that's pretty much, I think, when I look at things, if I'm going to judge something based off other people's opinions, which I don't, but if I'm going to take it into consideration, IMDb, I think, is the best way to look at it, just because uh, that's the average score from users.
Hmm.
But I mean, Letterbox is what I use to log all my movies, but the people who use Letterbox, I do not trust at all because
Yeah.
we got a lot of pretentious people in Letterbox. We got a lot of very strong opinions on that app, so I do not look into that rating at all. But let me look what we've got going for Joker right now on IMDb.
On Letterboxd right now, it's an average of 2.5. And most of the people I follow have given it between like 1.5 and 2.5 stars, which
Mhm.
we'll dive more into our actual thoughts on the movie in just a minute. But it was definitely interesting seeing how many low scores there were before going into it.
Yeah, right now it's 5.3 on IMDb.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes, we've got 33% critic reviews, we got 31% audience, which Rotten Tomatoes, which means
That's
33% of
crazy.
critics thought it was a good movie, 31% of the audience thought it was a good movie. It doesn't mean it's a 30 out of 10, but I don't like Rotten Tomatoes.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, so how are we doing at the box office? What's it made so far? It was a budget of what was like 200 million? Joker
Mm.
2 budget. $200 million dollars. So far, it looks like it's 40 million. It's
Oh.
not doing great.
Hmm.
And the word of mouth that's happening right now is not going to help it in its second weekend. Its
Yeah.
third weekend might be non-existent. It's
Hey, you know
not
what
looking
though?
good.
It is not doing as bad as Megalopolis is because it's in its second weekend and it's only earned $7 million worldwide. And it took
Yeah.
120 million to make. So at least
Yeah.
it's not doing that bad.
Well, I think considering it's a Joker movie, it's doing worse.
That's true.
Um,
It's more franchise.
yeah, I don't know. But it was, I believe it's the highest rated, not highest rated, the highest grossing rated R movie of all time, Joker 1.
Oh.
So to come from that, I mean, the whole reason it was made, like, there did not need to be a sequel. The whole reason it was made is because it was the highest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Hmm.
That's the only reason this thing got made. I mean, it didn't need to progress the story at all, but like,
Maybe we gotta
they're
stop
like,
doing
we got
that.
money and kind of coming back to bite them.
Okay.
Okay, so here's my idea for how they should do Joker 2. So, Joker 2, Into the Jokerverse, or Joker Face, whatever you want to call it. We'll decide on that. But it's not, it's less of like a musical in terms of like song and dance numbers, but it's more like John Carney style musical where there's just like songs being played in it. So in John Carney style, we get Joker travels through the multiverse, brings back all these other Jokers. So you can get whoever you want, all these different versions. And here's what we'll do. Joker finds all these people, forms a band, and they only perform the hit song by Steve Miller Band, The Joker. And that's their movie. That's it.
Okay. Sounds promising.
I think that's how they should have done it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Bring up WB.
Yeah, so basically this movie is about it's Joker 2. So there's two Jokers
I was gonna
and
say there's two of them.
it's the same exact movie. It's just like it's like a split screen and like one person's like doing his own thing, the other's doing his own thing. They're both kind of like just like different versions of the Joker and like it's the same exact movie, just two different people doing the same thing. Just kidding. That's not at all what happens. We've got Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn,
Hmm.
Harleen Quinzel, or
So,
Lee, as they call her in this movie. Um, it's a musical. Is it a musical? What do you think?
I was thinking about this during the movie yesterday because there were times the like bits that they did have that were musical sequences were so sporadic and
Hmm.
like I I'm like trying to describe like figure out how I want to describe how I felt about them. I loved the production design and like the costumes of them. It was a very nice like they were very colorful, so it was a nice break on the eyes from the like bleakness of the actual storyline that was happening.
Hmm.
But I they just felt very odd to be in the movie. And there wasn't really any lead up to them. It was just kind of like, oh, and now we're in a musical sequence.
Which I think is that's the whole point because the whole plot line of like the normal real world story is they're trying to make the case that Joker is a separate person. He goes into this fantasy world. So
Mm.
he just goes into this fantasy world and it's the musical scenes. I mean, that's the whole point of it. And that's why it's so weird. My issue with it was it did feel very I think the musical parts were actually my favorite part of the movie by far. I think because I enjoyed everything happening in there, it made me not care about the main story going on just because I wanted them to lean farther into that type of world and like that be the real world story. And then I think the best way to tell this would have been to do that, like do it how they did in the movie. And then as you go on, he really does become the Joker and he goes full into that weird fantasy world and that becomes his real world. Like it's
Yeah.
not this Arthur Fleck Joker. He's just the Joker. Arthur Fleck is no more.
Hmm.
Kind of like Anakin Skywalker is no more. He's
Yeah.
Darth Vader now. Kind of like that. But that being said, I liked the movie. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think all of
Um,
us liked it. Like, well, those we went to go see it with, we all enjoyed it.
yeah,
And
it was fun. I mean,
yeah, it wasn't
I think
great, but it was enjoyable.
the musical parts they were a lot of fun. Um, Absolutely gorgeous looking movie,
Hmm.
especially during the musical numbers.
Yeah.
Um, the rest of it was kind of got that gross little green look going on from the first one. Got the
Hmm.
Some people like that, some people don't. I think it looks nice for the most part. But yeah, the musical scenes, the production design, cinematography, colors, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um, Seeing Joker sing songs is a lot of fun. I kind of wish we got like more into that, but
Yeah.
this is a musical. I mean, don't go into it thinking, oh, it's a Joker movie
Yeah.
that's maybe got a song or two. It's a musical. It's a lot
Yeah.
of songs in it.
I did really enjoy there was one where we probably should have said spoilers ahead, I guess. But in there's like one musical number in the courtroom when he's singing like as Joker that I really enjoyed just because it like was a little bit more violent and on the like it felt very Joker as opposed to like some of the other scenes that just felt more on the Arthur Fleck in the makeup end, I guess, because there's like he's like straight up just beating a guy with a mallet and like, it just felt
Yeah.
very like, yeah, that's it. That's it right there. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I don't know, it's very very different sections of this movie and they hop back and forth between them. But I don't know. What do you think of Harley Quinn in the movie?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I don't I had a very strange feeling about the relationship between Lee and Arthur in this movie. I don't know why. Something about the relationship itself just felt very off to me, like something was missing.
Hmm.
And like the end of it, when she's just like, oh, yeah, I don't, yeah, no, we're done. And then she just like walks away. I was like, oh, okay. Like there wasn't really, that was just their end. It was just like, yeah, okay, bye. And he's just like, okay. Because I thought it was going to go into the whole thing of like she blew up the courthouse or
Hmm.
something to try to get him out. And then that was just never elaborated on, I guess. Um, but I don't know, it was fun to see Lady Gaga in it. I mean, she has a great voice, so obviously for a musical that was great. Um, but I don't know. It was just I felt very strangely about it.
Well, I mean, the whole point was she wants him to be the Joker, and he said, "I'm not the Joker. I'm Arthur Fleck," and that's the end. She's like, "Okay, bye." I think that makes sense for what the story was. She wanted him to go into this
And I guess that's
chaos,
true. I didn't think about
and
that.
he didn't. And that's why I didn't. I mean, the whole story built up to that moment, and it just didn't have like a fallout. It was like, okay, bye, which
Yeah.
I thought it worked. I did feel it's the same though. Like something about it felt like she was underutilized or really not. I mean, she wasn't
Yeah.
unnecessary, but like the story, there wasn't much of a story here. It was kind of like it didn't like. Here's the thing: Joker didn't need a sequel story wise. So when I heard it was a musical, I'm like, okay, I'm totally on board for them to go just weird and something completely different because like we don't really need a progressive story anymore. There's nowhere left to go. So that's why I was a little disappointed. It wasn't like fully just straight weird musical
Hmm.
because it's kind of half musical, half we're in the real world and it's a courtroom drama,
Yeah.
which I usually love courtroom dramas, but for this one, it's like it didn't really feel like it needed that because it didn't tell much of a story.
Hmm.
And it's kind of just like the fallout from the first movie, which could have taken place in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of like, remember 13 Reasons Why? It was huge success in season one.
Hmm.
And it's like, that's the story. It's like, okay, but it's popular, so we should make a second season. So
Hmm.
the second season is about like the court scene, the court case of the whole trial and everything. And it was just bad because it didn't need that story.
Yeah.
And no matter if your writing's good, no matter if your filmmaking's good, if the story, if there's no story to tell, it's not gonna be feel necessary. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
great. But that being said, I still do think they did a good job with this.
Hmm.
Despite all the internet reaction, go see it for yourself. Don't listen to anybody. If you don't like it, that's fair. I understand why people don't like it. But some people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be curious to like talk to people who gave it such low scores and be like, okay, is it because it was a musical? Is that like, was that the big turnoff for you? Or like, was it something
Well,
else?
for certain people, yeah, they're making Joker into a musical. I mean, the audience for Joker was, I mean, it was a Scorsese inspired movie, and you're making a sequel. It's like, oh, let's get another Scorsese type movie. And it's like, no, it's a musical. And it's like, obviously, the audience for those two things typically are not the same. Like they're not
Yeah.
Scorsese fans and musical fans don't always have the same taste. So
Yeah.
for that reason, yeah, people are upset about it. They're mad about it. Um, if you don't like musicals, then don't watch this or don't watch it again. I don't know. But I think it does do a good job at balancing them, which I think is its problem. Because I think they're trying to balance the two, like have musical, have drama.
Hmm.
But I think that's why it ultimately is a missed opportunity because I think they really should have just said, all right, we're making this a musical. It's just going to be weird chaos,
Yeah.
fantasy world type stuff. I think I would have enjoyed that a little more. I think
Yeah.
if they would have taken this structure, I think I would have liked them to, yeah, I mean, build up like they did. And then, yeah, like he fully commits to being the Joker, and then we're just straight weird musical, whatever, chaos, whatever you want to do it. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't mind it though.
Overall, I really liked the like at first when I didn't know why it was going to be a musical, I was like, okay, this is very strange. Like, what's the goal with this, or like, why are they making it a musical? And
Hmm.
then after like hearing that it's supposed to be like his delusions or his like fantasy world or whatever, I'm like, okay, that's actually interesting. But I feel like they could have just done like a little something different to make it work just a teensy bit better. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I wish all of the like musical sequences he was in the full Joker getup. So I
Hmm.
think that would have helped, especially in like that first one, I think, when like he is watching the TV and they're announcing that he's probably gonna get the death sentence if the state is able to swing it. And he's doing the whole song, but just in like Arthur Fleck. But I think it would have been interesting if they had done a full 180 and he had been in like Joker, because then I think it would have been more obvious that it's all like up here, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah. Um, yeah, well, like I said, I think it was a really interesting idea to do it that way. Um, but even though I am a fan of musicals and of DC movies, I was like, that was a bit of an odd choice, and I wasn't the hugest fan of it with the way it was executed, I
I
guess.
was a fan of the choice. I think it wasn't the execution. I think it was the potential to go somewhere they didn't.
Or I guess that, yeah, because I was like impressed with how it looked and everything. So I guess maybe execution wasn't the right word.
Well, I
But
mean, no, I think what you said would be execution. It's just like for me, I wanted more. I don't know, but I don't know. I enjoyed how they did it, but I think they could have gone farther into something else, which they
mm,
did.
yeah.
So something that has been driving me crazy for years is IMAX and their misleading
Oh,
audiences with their movies and the confusion surrounding IMAX. So, is Joker filmed for IMAX? Is it an IMAX movie? Is it 70 millimeter? What is it? Well, IMAX likes to confuse audiences and say every movie is made for IMAX, shot in IMAX. There's so many different words associated with it, like shot for IMAX and filmed for IMAX mean different things. Filmed with IMAX cameras, filmed with IMAX film cameras, completely different meanings. But
hmm
since there's not that many movies like real IMAX, like full, like extended aspect ratio, or filmed with IMAX film cameras, which is like what, four in the world that exist. Like
Yeah,
Oppenheimer, like popularized the whole 70 millimeter thing again.
yeah.
And but it shot with film cameras,
hmm
where this one shot digitally, and there are like five maybe like places in the whole country that like released it on 70 millimeter.
Hmm.
So it's just shot digitally and converted to film,
Interesting.
where
Is that what
a
they
lot
did
of
for
stuff,
Dune too?
yes, the same with
Okay.
Dune 2. So it wasn't shot like Oppenheimer. Once Oppenheimer released in 70 millimeter, everyone's like, oh, let's make 70 millimeter, let's advertise this as 70
Yeah.
millimeter and people go see it. It's
hmm
like really not exactly the same thing. I mean, still looks great on whatever
Yeah.
format you watch, but like that's always bothered me with how IMAX does their marketing because they know there's not that many like opportunities to say, oh, this is real IMAX. This is like you have to see it this way or else it's not the same. And they kind of have to just like mislead audiences and say, oh, this was filmed for IMAX, even though it's not
Right.
like the full extended aspect ratio, like ceiling to floor. Like a lot of people think IMAX just means, oh, ginormous screen that you can't get anywhere else, and then you go and it's just like the same aspect ratio you would have seen like Dolby.
Mhm.
But
So
this
like
one,
when it's like I guess for example, yesterday they played the trailer for Sinners, the new Ryan Coogler movie, and it said like shot with IMAX cameras or whatever. Would that be like the actual aspect ratio for an IMAX theater? Or is that another one of those like
well,
to try to
I mean,
well, I guess it would be expanded aspect ratio because it was the
if
full
it's
top.
shot with IMAX film cameras, then yeah, it's with IMAX film cameras. That doesn't necessarily mean the aspect ratio. I mean, that's up to the director what they want to do with it. But um, yeah, it's just like really, it's just so confusing to like find out like what is it really IMAX or. But yeah, shot with IMAX is like it was shot with like their cameras, I think.
Mhm.
Shot filmed for IMAX
It's-
is I don't even know. It's like let's
Yeah, I'm
see.
not really sure what that means when it's like you said, there's like so many different like taglines they'll have at the end of a trailer that it's like, okay, but is this like for IMAX?
Yeah, I mean, um like filmed for IMAX I think is they'll shoot it on like a camera. Like they'll use like a lot of people use like an Alexa 65 or something. I think this one was shot on Alexa 65 and it has the like they shoot it and they can change it to fit the IMAX like 143 dimensions and but yeah, it's so confusing, hard to follow and audience like general audiences would have no clue what that means. They would think they're just seeing like every IMAX movie is better than a
Yeah.
Dolby or a normal, but a lot of times that's not even the case. But whatever way you see Joker, I will say the 70 millimeter ones, I mean, they convert it to film, so like you can see the artifacts and everything pop up in certain scenes like you do on film.
Yeah.
And it does have a lot of scenes with the expanded 1.431 aspect ratio. So it is like that Oppenheimer Dune 2 same like ceiling to floor look. It's just the lingo that they use is really hard to keep track of, especially if you don't know anything
Yeah.
about cameras or filmmaking, or if you're not that into movies.
Hmm.
But that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we don't get a lot of IMAX movies, but when we do, we're not sure if they're really IMAX.
Well, I guess the next one that we really have is Interstellar when that gets re-released, which I'm
Yes.
99% sure that is actual IMAX in 70 millimeter because
Yeah,
they
Interstellar was
do those
shot.
like fairly often, like re-releases of that around the country. Um,
Um, Interstellar was shot on at least part of it was shot on 65 millimeter film.
oh,
So it will be real 70
yeah.
millimeter. Um, which even if it wasn't, if it was shot digitally, I mean they can still convert that to
Right, yeah.
film. But this one, yeah, it was filmed with cameras, so that'll be a good one.
Yeah,
That'll be a good
I'm
one.
very excited for that. Gonna have to
Yeah.
be on it with tickets.
Hmm.
Gotta go set it up
Um,
on my phone.
yeah. Going back to Joker though, we didn't talk about this yet. It's kind of like the last point I really have to make about Joker, but the ending where spoiler alert, but this is a podcast, we spoil everything anyway. He Arthur gets stabbed when he goes back to prison and the new Joker is born,
Yeah.
I guess.
Spawn of Joker.
So what happened? He gets stabbed, he dies, spoiler alert. Um, and then we see as Arthur is laying on the ground, out of focus, this new guy cuts his face, scars his face, the classic Joker smile. So we got the new Joker is born. So my take on this is Arthur is Joker, but he's not the Joker that we know because we all know Joker is not the typical Joker you know from the comics and other movies. He's not very chaotic. He's reserved, sad boy Joker, you know? And I think what they were going for is he is the inspiration for kind of the real Joker or the Joker that you
Interesting.
know, because yeah, he inspired this new guy, and now he's the new Joker. Because I mean, he had the laugh at the end. He cut
Hmm.
himself. I mean, he's Joker is what they're implying. So I kind of like the I like really like how they did that because I mean
Yeah,
I
that's
think
interesting.
that was always the theory anyway. I mean, people just assume that's what it kind of was, and then yeah, so now that kind of explains why he wasn't the typical Joker that everybody knows.
Hmm. I didn't notice that he like cut his um cut a smile.
Yeah, he had the knife that he stabbed him with, and it's like you can see him out of focus in the background, just cutting his
Is that
face.
when he's just like lying on the ground, he's just like
Hmm.
or okay, yeah. I didn't see that. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the background.
I
But
figured that's what they were gonna do,
interesting.
which is why I was focused on him the whole time.
Hmm. Yeah, that
But
would
yeah,
make sense. But
yeah, that was a fun ending.
yeah, overall, I thought it was actually pretty good. I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
Hmm.
Um, I don't care if, everyone else is giving it 2 stars. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd watch it again, but
I think I would like it better on rewatch because I was actually
yeah.
listening to the music last night, and I feel like I really enjoyed like the music's actually really good. Like just listening to it, I'm like I feel like if I
Like the
watched it again,
songs
yeah, like
or
yeah, the production of it's really cool. Like sometimes they mix the actual score with the musical numbers, which is like leading into it is
mm,
really cool. Which we didn't even get to the score.
yeah.
Another incredible score, which I mean it's a lot of the same
Yeah.
like notes and instruments they use in the first one, but yeah, another incredible score. I think Joker has one of the best scores in like the last 10 years.
It was so
That's
good hearing it in the theater. It was just like booming, and
hmm
I'm just like, yes.
yes. So good.
Yeah.
That's the best part of this movie. The music.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Well,
Anything else on Da Joker?
no, I don't think so. I think it's
Well,
kind of
that
all I gotta say about it. It's
marks the end of the Todd Phillips Joker movies.
yeah, I think it's getting more hate than it deserves. I think you should see it
Yeah,
for yourself.
100%. Yeah. Don't listen to everybody else.
Nope. Form
Go
your
for
own
your own
opinion.
opinion.
All right.
All right.
Moving on. Okay. Moving on. We got a new season. We're in a new year. We're like 10 months into the year, but it's new for us.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we got some new things we're trying. So
That's some
let's play
games.
some games here. All right, I got a challenge for you. I need
Okay.
you to connect.
I'm scared.
I need you to connect Megalopolis and
Worst
Alvin
movie
and the
ever.
Chipmunks, the Squeakquel.
The Squeakquel. I haven't seen the Squeakquel in so long.
Well,
Oh. Oh. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, I have to
you
think
can go
here.
either way. You can start from Megalopolis to Alvin and Chipmunks, or you can go from Alvin to Megalopolis, whatever you want.
Oh my God. Thinking about Megalopolis just makes me mad. For context, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. Um, Alvin and the Chipmunks to Megalopolis. Okay, I'm trying to think how I can connect Justin Long.
If you
So
need the internet, you can use the internet too. You don't have to like do it off your
I
head.
feel like I gotta do it off my head though.
All right.
Okay, so Justin Long was in Barbarian with literally no one else I could think of. Oh, I might have to use the internet. Oh no, that's bad. Okay, let's go to Megalopolis here. Megalopolis. Let's see. We got Adam Driver. We got Gus Fring. Okay, let's try Aubrey Plaza here.
So you're going
Ooh, or
backwards
Jason
now?
Schwartzman.
You're going backwards.
Ooh,
You're starting from
I'm
Megalopolis.
starting from Megalopolis. Okay, let's see. Jason Schwartzman. Hmm. Oh, this is hard. Actually, I probably need to look up the cast for the Squeakquel first to help me. I'm all over the place.
Come on, you just got to go for it. You got to connect
I'm
one thing to
trying.
the
I'm
next.
trying. Leave me
You
alone.
just got to start. I mean,
Holy crap, Zachary Levi's in that movie?
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Oh. Oh. Wait, this is actually easy. Aubrey Plaza's in Megalopolis, who's in Parks and Recreation with Amy Poehler, who's in Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel.
Okay. Who's she playing in Squiggle? I don't remember. Eleanor. Oh, she's a
Is she
voice?
one of the girls?
Yeah. Wow. Well, there you go. That was quick. See?
Okay, let's see. For you, connect Speak No Evil
Okay.
to the Lorax.
The Lorax. Okay. That's interesting because it's hard for me to do animated movie because I don't know who voices characters typically. So unless I really know them, Lorax.
I hope you know who voices the Lorax.
So, okay. So what is it? Lorax to what?
Speak No Evil.
Speak no evil. Okay.
A
All
20
right.
one.
So we got Danny DeVito. Gotta use Danny. Danny DeVito. It's Always Sunny with Rob McElhenney, who is in the Wrexham show with Ryan Reynolds, and I'm forgetting the other movie I'm trying to connect it to already.
Speak No Evil.
Speak No Evil. Okay. Ryan Reynolds in X-Men with Hugh Jackman and James McAvoy. Speak No Evil.
Nice.
That was good. That was good. Okay, we got one more. Let's do one more. That's kind of fun. Ooh, I want you to connect. All right. Let's see. I don't know. I don't want to do. You know what? I could really challenge you and go like years back and do like two different eras of movies, see if you can try to connect one.
Oh God.
Or I could give you something easy. I don't think I want to give you a layup. We won't go too far back. How about this? We'll go,
Citizen Kane and Neat Dave.
we'll go Ferris Bueller's Day Off
Okay.
to Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roger Rules.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Roger Rules. Stars. Let's go. We'll go Steve Zahn. Oh wait. Okay. Here we go. Ferris Bueller's Day Off has Jeffrey Jones, who is also in Beetlejuice, that starred Gina Davis, who is in Stuart Little, that stars Steve Zahn in Roger Rules.
There you go.
How about When Harry Met Sally to Harold and the Purple Crayon?
Okay. Harry to Harold. All right. Let's go. Billy Crystal, When Harry Met Sally, in Parental Guidance, 2012. Also has, what else is in that movie? Let's see. Marissa Tomei and Spider-Man. Spider-Man with Spider-Man No Way Home with Andrew Garfield has is in The Social Network with Jesse Eisenberg. That's a tricky one. I'm getting nowhere with this. Let's take a new path. Um, all right, here we go. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Got it. Okay. Billy Crystal, Parental Guidance, Marissa Tomei, Spider-Man Homecoming with Stan Lee. Stan Lee in Into the Spider-Verse, Jake Johnson, A New Girl, Zooey Deschanel, Harold and the Purple Crown.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Got it.
Alrighty, that was fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been another episode of That Sure Was a Movie. We're back. We're reviewing movies again. I guess that was technically our first like movie reaction review
Yeah.
podcast episode in a while. We got
Yeah.
Joker 2. Go see it.
Mhm.
Hopefully you don't hate it. We didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, follow us on all our socials. Catch us on YouTube.
Follow us on
Catch us
Letterboxd.
wherever you listen to podcasts. All right. We will see you next time.
Bye bye.